Thank you very much for staying until the end. I'm a scientist who turned wrong, or right, it depends on the point of view. So I'm not going to give a lot of numbers. I'm going to show how a biophysicist's crazy idea can bring novel approaches to treat cancer. The question I was asking myself is very simple. Why are we failing to treat brain? I'm talking only about the brain, by the way. Now, there are several reasons for this, notably the dynamic behavior of the brain. Pharma used to forget that the brain is extremely dynamic, with a lot of plasticity taking there. And the last 5 years, it has become obvious that the tumor is invaded by the neighborhood, generating aberrant connections, which have very interesting properties. I won't have time to discuss this, but they are immature properties, notably excitatory GABA, high chloride, etc. Meaning that if you only aim at killing the tumor, you will fail. This is why all the modern technique of CAR T cells, etc., have 4 or 5 months and then there is a relapse. The relapse is due to the fact that you must also treat the environment. Having this in mind, I decided to use a double approach. I used 2 generic anti-canceric drugs who have been known for 4 decades to work against cancer. Bumetanide is block this guy. NKCC1 is present in every cell in our body. It controls ions inside cell. If it works too much, your cell has a lot of chloride, sodium, and water, and it swells. And this has been shown in all the disorders you have in your mind. And bumetanide inhibits very specifically NKCC1, reducing chloride, blocking seizures, etc., etc., etc. And it has been shown to be efficient against all the cancer you have in mind, kidney, breast, lung, etc. However, this only blocks hyperactivity. This guy here is an anti-parasitic agent known for decades to be anti-cancerous. It acts on the microtubule and it kills tumor cells. Johns Hopkins has done a phase 1, phase 2 using this drug, showing it's very efficient on glioblastoma. I decided to combine these 2. Curiously enough, nobody has thought of this, even though it's more than 10 years that both drugs have been around. By combining them, I had very rapidly a worldwide patent on combining them to treat brain tumors. Now, what we did is the following. First, preclinical data on animals, but also on tumors extracted from patients. They are operated. My lab is 50 meters from the surgery room, and we record them. My domain is really recording, batch recording, etc. And we are showing that both of them act in synergy for mechanisms I don't understand. If you put mebendazole, bumetanide that usually needs 10 micromolar, 25 nanomolar are sufficient. How? I have no idea. But they act in synergy, and both of them block seizures in rodent, but also in glioma, meningioma, and glioblastoma. In glioma, it's really fantastic. You have calcium waves, which are classical. You put bumetanide and mebendazole, silence. So they block both of them. Then we cultivated those tumor stuff in tumoid, and we show that both of them kill almost 96% of the cells. So we have a combo which both kill the cells and does the rest, namely block hyperactivity. We did not have the right to do a large-scale trial in Grenoble. We had only the right, because both of them are separately approved, but together they're not approved yet. We had the right to do 1 compassionate trial. The lady has a breast cancer, which generated a huge tumor in the brainstem, just before the cerebellum, completely inoperable. She had diplopia, high dose of treatments, tremblements, headache, etc. 2 months after treatment, look at the tumor. This is what happened to the tumor. Reduced by 50%. The therapy was reduced by 3-fold. Headache, diplopia disappeared. For almost 9 months, she was kept alive. Then we had to stop treatment because we were not allowed to use it for a longer time, and she died 3 months later. We hope now to do this in 40 patients, and we're looking for money to do 40 patients in France. The next step is, of course, to do this. We could do it alone or in parallel with Johns Hopkins, because they have done only mebendazole, and seeing my result, they would like to do it using the combo, which is, of course, more efficient than mebendazole alone. They have the money to do the phase 2. I don't yet. So either I do it alone or I find the money, we do it together. This is a combo patent. Well, I don't give numbers because I'm not very good in this, but you have heard a lot about it. There is no treatment. They die of glioblastoma rapidly, et cetera, and it's billions if it works. By the way, the novel modern treatment used in the US and in Europe costs $200,000 a year. TTF, for instance, is 4 months and a half increased survival. I hope to achieve 1 year with a much, much cheaper price. The second project is more expensive, and the idea is simple. Even though I'm not a drug company guy, I know the difference between a generic and a proprietary molecule. What we did was the following. We went to a company of chemistry, and we generated 120 new NK/CCY inhibitor. Let me stress again, bumetanide experimentally has been shown to be efficient. I mean, you take all the disorders you have in mind, cancer, all cancers, melanoma, lung, etc., trauma, cerebrovascular infarct, Parkinson, Alzheimer, in all of them it works because it controls the ions which give the cells the capacity of working. So we have 120 molecules. They block NK/CCY on cell line, we have shown this. Some of them are even more efficient than bumetanide. Nobody has a drug like this. And I won't have time to talk about this. I'll talk about this a little bit, but you have brochures outside. We did a phase 2 trial, which was validated. We went all the way to phase 3, which failed. With machine learning, we identified the kids who respond to the treatment within the phase 3. And the therapeutic potential is very, very large. This is a picture showing what we have done. Now we're doing this with my own funds, or that's given by Europe. Here is the efficacy to block NK/CCY in human cell line. These two guys are even more efficient than bumetanide. All these guys are as efficient as bumetanide. We can test them. Now, this, of course, is more expensive because going to H1 requires a lot of money, as probably you know better than I do. But all of them block seizures and do what we expect them in rodent and in human slices. I would like to finish with this. So I have shifted from academic research, heading big labs in the French Medical Research Council, to private research. And we have also decided to construct a building which will host startup by one of the best French architects in distance from the sea, which is like here and there, close to the fjord of France, south of France, which are the most beautiful place in Europe, I think. And this building is opening in 2 years from now, and there is still space for people who want to bring the setup in a very agreeable condition. The prices are very, very, very cheap. Thank you very much.